Welcome to BookTalks Native, where you learn English by listening to native speakers and learn life lessons from great books.
That's right. We try to make it clear and easy to follow.
And today, we're doing a deep dive into a really special book, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Oh, yeah. A huge international success. You see it everywhere.
You really do. I mean, people like Anthony Robbins, even Madonna have talked about it. It's been translated into, over 80 languages?
Incredible. It just shows how much that core message resonates with people, doesn't it? That idea of, following your dreams.
Exactly. And that's what we want to explore today. We're going to follow the story of Santiago. He's a shepherd boy from Andalusia in Spain.
And he has this dream, right? A recurring one.
Yes, about finding treasure at the pyramids in Egypt, of all places.
So our mission today really is to unpack that story, the main narrative, and pull out some of the big ideas that make this book such a popular fable.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Santiago, what's his initial situation?
Well, he's a shepherd, as you said. And interestingly, he actually likes it. He enjoys the travel, the freedom.
He reads a lot too, doesn't he? Carries books with him.
He does. And it was a choice, this life.
Yeah.
Apparently, his parents wanted him to be a priest.
Right. So he chose shepherding over the seminary. That tells you something about him from the get-go.
Yeah.
He values experience, exploration.
I think so.
Yeah.
The flock gives him companionship, sure, but also that chance to just roam and see things.
Then comes the dream, this recurring dream.
Yep. Treasure, pyramids. And it's a child showing him where it is in the dream.
A child. Interesting detail.
It is. Maybe symbolizing something like innocence or intuition, perhaps. The dream keeps happening, so it feels significant, like something deep down is calling him.
So he decides he needs to figure out what this dream means. He goes to Tarifa.
Right, looking for answers. And he finds this old woman, a dream interpreter.
And she's pretty direct about it. She tells him basically, go to Egypt, go to the pyramids, you'll find treasure.
But there's a catch.
Always a catch. She wants a piece of the action. 1/10 of the treasure if he finds it.
Which, understandably, makes Santiago a bit wary, skeptical, maybe even annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, you go for advice on a dream and suddenly you owe someone potentially a lot of money for something that might not even exist.
It definitely raises questions about trust and, well, the price of guidance, maybe.
Okay, but then things get even stranger, or maybe more significant, in the town square.
Ah, Melchizedek.
Yes. He meets this old man who says he's the king of Salem. Melchizedek.
Which sounds pretty grand.
It does. And this guy introduces Santiago to a really core concept in the book. The personal legend.
Your personal legend, what you've always wanted to accomplish, your true purpose, kind of.
Exactly. And Melchizedek also warns him, doesn't he, about this force.
Yeah, a mysterious force, he calls it. Something that tries to make you believe your personal legend is impossible.
That sounds familiar, like self-doubt or maybe just the inertia of everyday life.
Could be both. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, listening too much to others. All those things that can pull you off track.
And Melchizedek proves he's not just some random old guy. He knows things about Santiago.
Things he couldn't possibly know. Writes them in the sand.
His parents' names, the seminary, even the name of a girl Santiago likes. Details Santiago never shared.
That must have been pretty convincing. Like, okay, this guy knows something. Maybe this whole personal legend thing is real.
It seems to be the tipping point for Santiago. Melchizedek tells him, sell your sheep. Go for it. Chase the treasure.
He gives him that famous line.
Oh, yeah. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Such a powerful idea. That intention and belief can actually draw support towards you.
He also gives him something tangible, right? The stones.
Urim and Thummim. To help him read the omens, the signs along the way. A bit of practical magic, maybe.
So Santiago is convinced. He sells his flock. A huge step.
Massive. Giving up his entire life, really.
He heads off to Tangier in Africa, full of hope, probably. And then disaster strikes.
Right.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. He trusts someone to be his guide to the pyramids.
And the guy robs him, takes all his money.
Leaves him completely stranded. Penniless. In a foreign land.
Wow. Talk about a setback. How does that affect him?
Well, he feels lost, obviously.
Yeah.
But also ashamed. Like he was naive, too trusting. It's a really harsh lesson right at the start.
A real trial by fire. But he doesn't just give up and go home, does he?
No, that's key. He's down, but not out. He has to survive. So he finds work.
At the crystal shop.
Exactly. Working for this crystal merchant. And he ends up staying there for quite a while, almost a year.
And he actually does really well there. He has these good ideas for the business.
Yeah, like putting a display case outside. Simple, but effective.
And serving tea in the crystal glasses to attract customers. Smart. The business really picks up because of him.
It does. So in a way, this detour is actually teaching him things about business, about people, about perseverance.
And he learns from the merchant, too, doesn't he, about dreams deferred?
Right. The merchant has his own dream to go to Mecca on pilgrimage, a lifelong dream.
But he's afraid to actually do it, afraid that if he achieves it, he'll have nothing left to dream for.
It's a fascinating perspective. He also introduces Santiago to the concept of maktub.
Is written, like fate or destiny.
So Santiago learns about omens, about maktub, and he earns enough money working there.
Enough to go back to Spain and buy even more sheep than he had before. He could just go back to his old life even better off.
He could. He has the choice. Comfort, familiarity, security.
But he doesn't take it. Why not?
Because that pull is still there. The dream of the pyramids, his personal legend. It hasn't gone away just because he faced hardship or found some success elsewhere.
He realizes that dream is still important, so he makes another big decision.
A courageous one. He decides to use the money to continue the quest. He joins a caravan going across the Sahara Desert.
Wow. So he's really committing again despite the risks.
He is. And this is where he meets the Englishman.
The bookish guy obsessed with alchemy.
That's him. He's looking for a famous alchemist who supposedly lives at the Al Fayoum oasis where the caravan is headed.
And the Englishman talks about the soul of the world, right?
Yes, this idea that everything's connected, that there's a universal spirit or principle at work. It adds a more maybe intellectual or mystical layer to Santiago's own quest, which has been more based on dreams and omens so far.
So the caravan finally makes it to the oasis, Al Fayoum. It's this huge, vibrant place in the desert.
A safe haven, but also a place of new encounters, and a very significant one for Santiago.
Fatia.
Yes. He meets Fatima, a woman of the desert, and falls deeply in love, like instantly, profoundly.
To the point where he actually thinks about giving up his quest again, doesn't he? Just staying there with her.
He does. Love becomes this incredibly powerful force, maybe even a potential obstacle to his personal legend. The real test. Does he choose love or the quest?
It's a classic dilemma. But then another figure enters the scene.
The alchemist himself.
He appears dramatically, doesn't he? Horseman in black, falcon on his arm, tests Santiago's courage.
And reveals himself to be the alchemist the Englishman was searching for.
And what does the alchemist tell Santiago about love and his quest?
Crucially, he says that true love doesn't stop you from pursuing your personal legend. In fact, it should support it. If you have to give up your dream for love, maybe it wasn't true love connecting to the soul of the world.
That's a profound idea. Love is fuel, not an anchor.
Exactly. And the alchemist recognizes Santiago's potential, sees that he's on the right path, and agrees to guide him the rest of the way across the desert.
So now he has a real master guiding him. What does the alchemist teach him?
A lot about listening, especially listening to his heart.
Why the heart?
The alchemist says the heart comes from the soul of the world, and it will always lead you towards your treasure, towards your legend. Even if it complains or is afraid sometimes, you have to listen to it, understand it.
He also talks about tests, right? Especially near the end.
Yes, that the soul of the world tests everyone right before they achieve their dream. It's the point where many people give up when they're actually closest to succeeding. Perseverance is key.
That feels very true to life sometimes. Things get toughest right before the breakthrough.
And they face a literal test. They get captured by warring tribesmen.
And the alchemist does something incredible.
He tells the tribesmen that Santiago is an alchemist who can turn himself into the wind, and that he needs 3 days to do it.
Putting Santiago on the spot, big time.
Completely. But it forces Santiago to truly connect with the desert, the wind, the sun, the soul of the world.
And does he do it?
He does. He communes with the elements, understands his connection to everything, and, well, the wind blows like never before. He basically becomes the wind or commands it.
Wow. That must have impressed the tribesmen.
It did. They let them go. It's a powerful demonstration of what happens when you fully understand your connection to the universe, your power within the soul of the world.
So after all that, Santiago finally reaches the pyramids, the destination of his dream.
Must have been an unbelievable moment after everything he's been through.
He listens to his heart, finds the spot where it tells him to dig.
And he starts digging for his treasure.
But the journey throws one last cruel twist at him.
Yeah. While he's digging, some refugees from the tribal wars find him. They beat him up.
And they steal the gold the alchemist had given him earlier.
Right. And when Santiago, probably delirious, mentions he was digging because of a dream about treasure.
The leader of the robbers mocks him.
Yeah, he says something like, "You're not going to die. But learn this. I had a dream too, right here on this spot."
And what was the robber's dream?
He dreamed of a treasure buried back in Spain, in the ruins of an abandoned church, under a sycamore tree where shepherds and their sheep often slept.
The exact spot where Santiago had his original dream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The exact spot. It's an incredible irony.
So Santiago realizes
The treasure wasn't at the pyramids after all. It was back where he started.
he had to travel all that way, go through everything, just to learn where his treasure truly was.
The journey was necessary for the realization. He had to learn the language of the world, listen to his heart, meet the alchemist. All of it led to this understanding.
So he goes back, all the way back to Andalusia.
He does. He returns to the abandoned church, to the sycamore tree.
A full circle. But he's a different person now.
Completely transformed by the journey, wiser, more connected.
And he digs at the base of the tree.
And there it is. A chest full of old Spanish gold coins, precious stones. His treasure.
Amazing. And he remembers his promise, right?
He does. He remembers the old gypsy woman in Tarifa and knows he needs to give her 1/10. Shows his integrity hasn't been lost.
Yeah, Fatima.
As he's there with the treasure, the wind blows the levanter, the wind from the east that first carried him towards Africa.
And it brings him.
The scent of her perfume, the hint of a kiss. He knows she's waiting, that their love was real and part of his destiny too. He's found the treasure and he's going back to her.
Wow. What a story. So when we wrap this all up, what does this deep dive really tell us?
Well, it's just packed with themes, isn't it? Destiny, fate, the importance of listening to your heart, definitely.
And seeing the signs, the omens that life throws at you, recognizing them?
Absolutely. And maybe the biggest one is just the value of the journey itself. All the struggles, the learning, that was the real treasure in a way.
Thinking about Santiago, how he started out kind of reluctant, maybe a bit naive.
And all the people he met. Some helped, like Melchizedek and the alchemist. Some hindered, like the thief, or taught him different lessons, like the crystal merchant.
And that final twist, realizing the treasure was back home all along, really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It makes you ask yourself, what's my personal legend? Am I listening to my own heart? Am I brave enough to follow those whispers?
Yeah, are you paying attention? Or maybe dismissing your own dreams like the robber dismissed his?
It encourages that kind of self-reflection, for sure.
Yeah.
How do we face our own setbacks? Do we see them as dead ends or as part of the learning process like Santiago did?
We really hope this exploration, this chat about The Alchemist has given you some interesting things to think about, maybe sparked some insights for your own life.
Or maybe just made you want to read the book. Or read it again, perhaps. It's definitely one of those books you can revisit.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, we'd really appreciate it if you could like this, maybe leave a comment with your thoughts.
Yeah, share with anyone you think might find it interesting. And of course, subscribe to BookTalks Native for more explorations of great books.
We really appreciate you listening and spending your time with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and wishing you good health.